The Lockup is a mission in the Freelance Heists expansion and entry point. It can be completed in loud or stealth. This guide will teach you how to complete it in the stealth mode on Legend with no kills efficiently. There is not much gear required to complete this mission. All you need, as displayed here, is a concealed weapon and a lockpick. This requires the Art of the Steal perk. It is also very highly recommended that you have the perk that allows you to loop cams, as well as some fast hands and out of sight or masquerade perks. When you first spawn in, you can just place your bag behind the bushes in front of the building. Make sure that they are out of sight and no one will be able to see them. Then, obviously, you go inside. Once you're inside, go to this door that I am at, and then lockpick it. There's a more secluded section from the rest of the map where sometimes NPCs will go inside. Wait for an NPC to go inside. You can also wait in the lobby and look at the two doors where they may enter. Eventually, after a bit, an NPC will go inside as we just saw. There's really no speeding up the waiting portion. You just really have to wait. Then afterwards you can follow them into the garage and then take them hostage. You have to make sure to interrogate every single NPC that you hostage. There are two types of intel you can get from NPCs. You can either get the lockup door code, or you can get the intel about where the items are stored. These will never come in any particular order, and it's mostly, once again, it is the luck of the draw whether you get it or not. You have to interrogate enough until you get both. Here, I was lucky and I managed to find the lockup door code very fast. While you still do not have a disguise on, you are able to carry bags without raising any suspicion. You should make the most out of this. And for all of the guards that you knock in that area, you should bring their bags out and leave them in the bushes near the spawn van. This is because there are barely any cabinets or anything inside of the building, so you have to save space for bags later. Once you've moved all of the bags outside, which in this case was 2, you are able to put on a disguise from one of them. Keep in mind that you are not able to put on disguises from detectives. You are only able to put on police disguises. Here, I'm interrogating another police because I still do not have the intel for where the weapons are stored. Since there are 3 weapons, there are 3 ways to find where each of the weapons are stored. Each will only tell you where one of them are stored. The first way is by interrogating. One of the employees there, whether it be a police or a detective, will eventually tell you where one of the weapons is stored. Another way you can find it is by searching all 3 files around the map, which you will see me do later. The third way is not yet relevant, but we'll get to that later. Here, I'm taking the evidence box off of the table in this room. This evidence box will always spawn here, and it will be used later in the basement to distract the evidence custodian. Just now, as you saw, it seems I contradicted myself. Before, I stated to always interrogate everyone, but just now, I knocked the detective without interrogating them. And this is because we already have both intel we need from staff. As mentioned before, you can only receive the 2 different types of intel, which I've already gotten just now. Now it's critical that we find out where the second location of the weapons are. We can accomplish this by searching the files, as you see me doing. Sometimes you might see me going in places such as the basement. I'm only doing this because sometimes stragglers and NPCs will go in the basement and they're easy to knock. When you knock ones in the basement or in other places out of sight, that's one less employee you have to worry about later that might see you when you're walking around. File spawns are never in the basement, the garage, or the police captain's room. Keep in mind that they also can spawn sometimes in the lobby, in the receptionist area. Since we were also on the topic of the police captain, keep in mind that if you do this right and you follow my guide, you should never have to even interact with the police captain. Distracting them is pretty much pointless, and there's absolutely no reason why you would have to interact with them otherwise. Now that we're finally ready to open up the evidence storage room, we can head on to the basement. Now we are ready to distract the evidence custodian with the evidence we picked up from that room on the second floor. When you do this, make sure to stand on the right side because in the far back of the evidence custodian's office, there is a camera that will detect you if you are in its line of sight. Now we can finally open up the evidence storage. Since the evidence custodian will stand slightly behind the door to the left, you have to make sure to go in and intimidate them so that they do not sound the alarm. Once you do that, go into the room and loop the camera mentioned before, and then you are able to search the files to find the location of the last piece of the last weapons that you need. With all three of the indicators showing where each of the weapons are stored, you're free to open it up in whatever order you might want. Every once in a while, the evidence custodian's phone will ring. This will only happen if you are in the basement, so don't be paranoid if you're really far away from it upstairs. You have to make sure to answer as soon as possible, or else it will say the evidence custodian went missing and the mission will automatically go to loud. I like to bag all of the objectives at first and then bring them up to the car, but I don't really think it matters which one you do first. And so once you do all of that, you complete the mission. So yeah, I hope this guide helped you, and the generic stuff, like and subscribe, blah 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 blah. And I am once again actually spending effort again on videos, but no promises about a consistent upload schedule. But yeah, I guess see you next time.